Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirrabbilalamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And good evening. So guys, today I will talk to you about two things, which is first al-ma'rifah and second at-taqlid. So al-ma'rifah can be classified into three madhab, which is first madhab al-Ash'ariyah, which is our madhab Ahli Sunnah wa Jama'ah, and second madhab al-Mu'tazilah, and the third one is madhab al-Maturidiyah. So in madhab al-Maturidiyah, the founder of Madhab Maturidiyah, which is Sheikh Abu Mansur al-Maturidi from Shaya, says that the akal, or our mind, that did not get caught up in the judgment, only the knowledge of Allah and define that what he can perceive. So in other words, if there is no law or no shari, our mind will be aware of its transcendence. So next, it can be distinguished and differentiate between madhab al-Maturidiyah and the second madhab, which is madhab al-Mu'tazilah. And the first madhab al-Maturidiyah says that the knowledge that we know is defined by only our mind. This means that by the mind is that Allah Ta'ala is enjoined by the choice, in the sense that this provision, if he did not according to the Shari or our law, could reason to understand about Allah for clarity. As for the Mu'tazilah, they say that they see that all judgments are required by some reason, and they add them to the independence. So next, I will talk to you about taqlid and the ta'rif of taqlid. So taqlid in Arabic, they say is al-akhadha bi qawlu al-ghayr fi ahkam at-tawhid min ghairi hujjah aw dalil. So taqlid can be classified into different words by words. So the first word is bil-i'tiqad. Bil-i'tiqad can be defined by belief, our belief, which is any belief in the content of speech of others. So next is bil-qawl. Bil-qawl is excluding the act and the report itself. So then bi-ahkam tawhid, the meaning of it is the rest of the religious belief, not the issues of unification. So min ghairi hujjah aw dalil is they follow some words, which is some hujjah, but they do not know the argument and the dalil itself. So next, the person who do taqlid is called muqallid. So the muqallid can be classified into classes in three different class, which is first is muqallid who is not serious or is not sure about what he took the word from. So second, muqallid in the world. So the third is muqallid in the akhirat. So the first is muqallid that is not sure. So the ulama says that about muqallid, that is who not sure or not serious, have certain doubt, suspicion, illusion, or what is so young that there is cafe to dunya and akhirat. So the second one is the muqallid who sure in dunya. So our ulama says that mukallaf in the world, unless he is deprived of what is contrary to the faith, such as worshipping of Allah, insulting the Holy Quran, or denying the knowledge of Islam, he is coming from religion necessarily. He is out of Islam or murtad. So that the rulings of Muslims in this world cannot be attributed to him. So the third one, the muqallid in akhirat. As for the exact of muqallid, in terms of the rule of his faith in the akhirat, it was disputed by scholars who differed in the validity of his faith on several views.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And for the second one is, some speakers went on to say that the imitator is a transgressor, whether able to observe or not. They said that imitation can suffice the religious creed, and if not, it is not permissible because imitation is haram. And the imitator is a transgressor, whether he has the qualification to consider and infer or not. And from the word, to know is one of the subordinate obligation. Whoever omit the knowledge is considered as who disobeys. But this opinion is weak because it is a generalization for the sinner and does not differentiate between those who can observe and those who are incapable of doing so. Third, some speakers went on to say that the imitator, if he is able to observe, becomes guilty for not doing so, and otherwise he would not be a sinner, because they said that the sufficiency of the tradition and their words are also based on the fact that knowledge is a subdivision of the obligation, but they separated it. They said if the imitator is able to observe, he becomes guilty for not doing so, otherwise there is no sin on him. They also protested by saying, we have found some imitators who are stronger in faith and more firmly established a belief than those who are observing the sign of monotheism, which indicates that knowledge is not required for the faithfulness, and the knowledge is only a mean to the faith and may be achieved without it. And some speakers went on to say that by following of the definitive text is the true faith, and who follow other than that has no valid faith. They also went on to say that whoever follow the text of the Holy Quran and the noble Sunnah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam has the correct faith, follow absolute imitation to the proof, and those who imitate others has incorrect faith, as they also deduced that it is possible to say that the imitation of the Holy Quran and the Sunnah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is a tradition of the Prophet. The last one, some speakers went on to say that the imitator has true faith and that the deduction of religious belief is haram. They also went like their predecessor to say that the tradition is sufficient, but violated their predecessor by saying that observing and deducing religious belief is haram. It should be noted that these two last statements are based on no any requirement to know, and so that they are not being counted for violating the consensus. However, if the facilitation is the base, which is one of the rule of Islam said by the definitive text, such as saying A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, yuridu Allahu bikumul yusra wa la yuridu bikumul usra, means Allah intends for you ease and does not intend for your hardship. Surah Al-Baqarah. And so the manifestation of the facilitation are clear according to Islamic teaching, from shortening the 4 rak'at prayer when traveling to the permissibility to break the fast in Ramadan for specific circumstances and as extra, without considering that this is a sin that deserves its doer to be punished. But then God does not accept the faith of those who heard about Islam and believing Islam, combining his faith with good deeds. And also, Al-Tash As-Sabiki tried to make the dispute between scholars regarding faithfulness of the imitator verbally, which is no negation and evidence in one place. He said either to assert the imitator with the word of others, a strong implication take place in himself, and he knows for what he is imposed. Not returning from his religion, if the imitator return, his faith is sufficient, but he is considered disobey for diverting the view. If he is able to observe, this is from the view that states the sufficiency of tradition. But if the imitator does not assert that in this way that is framed by weak assertion, which if the imitator return, he would return from imitating him. And the truth is that the different opinion among scholars regarding the imitator who is assertive but who is not assertive, there is no dispute in his belief, in his disbelief, I said, which make us say that dispute between them is real, not verbal. That's all. Thank you.